Like I said in the first two parts, they had found a cure for the main character Melly's illnesses, but it goes into more detail in like the extras. But the funny part that they talk about in the extras is that the male lead was carrying around his cure this entire freaking time, and he didn't know. He didn't know he was carrying around the little bracelet that he wears all the time. Was carrying his cure. Like in one of the beads, it had the peel that would have cured his disease a long time ago. Like, that is so tragic and so sad that by the time they realized the cure was in his bracelet, it had been already too late because the doctor had found the cure and made the cure and handed it to him. And in actuality, she never had to go looking for a cure, make the cure, because he had it the entire time and only found out after she gifted the cure she made. Like, that is so sad. The extras go into more detail about the Mali's childhood. And honestly, I felt so bad for him. Like, it did show moments where his father was a caring, loving man, that he actually did care for his child. But there are times his father was just outright abusive. Like, was too strict and too serious. And honestly, I would have done the same thing as the main character. So the main character has a dream after being told some of the stories about the abuse that the male lead had went through. Had a dream where he saves the male lead, a child version of the male lead, from one of his training things. Like, the male lead's father trained a mere child. This is how small he was when he started training. He looks like a toddler. Look how tiny he was. Had his little small child fighting against all of these machines for training. Like, machines that would have broken his literal bones and skin. That was the training he was gifting his own child. The main character had a dream where he saves the male lead from his training, and there on the sidelines is the male lead's father being like, he won't do well in your care. And the main character like, I fought armies and I saved my country. Yes, I can literally raise a child and I can pamper him. So F off. Like, I love that. I loved it. But like I said, like, his father, it shows moments where his father was actually a caring, loving man who loved to care for his child. Like, it shows a scene where he's telling his son a story. Like, and he's, like, petting his child's chin while the child's sleeping. Like, there are moments where it does show him being a soft, caring parent. But most of the time, he was down outright cruel. Like, he was full on cruel. Like, there is a scene where after the male lead was attacked and gifted the disease that lived with him his entire life until they were able to find a cure, his father dragged him from his room because, the male lead's down outright depressed because, he's now deaf and mute. He's literally deaf and mute. His father drags him from his room because he's literally barred himself in his room, refuses to eat, refuses to do anything because he's freaking highly depressed. Drag the child, the literal child, because remember, the male lead was 12 or 13 when he was gifted this disease, dragged him from his room and to the pond and shoved his child in front of the pond and told him, look, you are part of this family, stop moping. And the child goes, I can't see. And he drowns his child and tells his child that he either can recognize who he is or he can hang himself. He literally tells this to his child who was attacked by their own emperor's concubine. Like, how freaking horrible is that? And, like, the servants tell the main character about this story. And the main character, no surprise, is horrified. And they keep trying, like, throughout the male lead's entire life, they keep telling the male lead that this was for his own good. His father was cruel and terrible to him for his own good because he needed to be cruel and terrible to the male lead so the male lead can be the man he is today. But, like, I can't help but be angry, okay? Like, yes, it would often on show us scenes where his father was a good man to him, but most of the time his father was just cruel. Just cruel. To the point the male lead starting to get dreams back when he was a child, his father actually being kind to him. But the male lead completely forgot about those moments. He completely forgot how kind his father was at a time because his father was most of the time cruel. Most of the time, freaking cruel. It is so sad to the point that, like I said, the main character literally had a dream where he saved baby Malid from his trainings. Like, come on, it's sad. It's literally sad. Now it does show a moment where his father acknowledges the Malid will one day be a great hero, with the Malid being a small child can already outwit his father and outspeak his father. As a mere toddler, could outspeak and outtalk his dad, knows he can be a great general one day, but treats his son like shit. Like I will throw hands. I will throw hands with the Malid's dad. I am sorry. I will throw hands. Also, like, I know I've been ranting about this way too long, and I'm gonna have to literally make another part for the other extras. But like, the Malid's mom couldn't handle, teaching him, giving him, to the point she had to make her own little thing to punish him with, to the point whenever someone pulled it out, the Malid would start acting, because he acted like a normal child. Everyone's like, oh, he was just such a brat back when he was a kid. The stories I hear about the things he did as a child are little children things. I've met children way worse than the Malid. From stories, people talk about how much of a brat he was. Like, he would climb onto the roof or climb into a tree. They were like, he was so bratty. I'm sorry. I've heard stories about kids who do way worse than things the main character Malid had supposedly did as a child. Like, come on. He didn't deserve half the things he got as a kid. Look how small and tiny he was. And again, it repeatedly tells us that even before he got the disease, he had his mother's constitution, which was a sickly constitution. So even before he got the disease, gifted by the old emperor's concubine, he was already a weak, sickly child. And he was already being pressured upon. Like,